Hey everyone, welcome to Code Harmony. Today we are going to solve LeetCode from ID 3021. Alice and Bob playing flower game. This interesting question is based on mathematics and asked in Rubrik, marked as medium, but let me tell you this problem, in the most important part of this problem is understanding the problem statement, what is given to us and how we can do it. And if you understand the problem statement well, you will be able to do it easily. It will become very easy to understand if you have understood the given problem statement well. So just understand the story and let me help you do that. Here, as per the problem statement, Alice and Bob are playing a turn-based game on a field with two lanes of flowers between them. Okay, as depicted in this problem, in this picture, Alice and Bob are playing some game. They have two rows where there are some flowers. There are X flowers in the first lane between Alice and Bob, and there are Y flower in the second lane between them. So let's say first lane is having X number of flowers, second lane is having Y number of flowers. So this is the scenario, and now they will play some kind of game, and the game instructions are as follows. First of all, Alice is always going to play the game, get the game started. So always Alice is going to have the first turn. Alice has the first turn, and each turn a player must choose either of the two lane. They can choose either of the two lane. Choosing lane is not a concerning factor, and then pick the flower from that side. This is the second operation. First instruction is that always Alice is going to start the game, and second one is whatever the turn is, let's say it is Bob's turn, and Bob will decide which lane he will pick the flowers, and then he will pick that flower. Picking flower means that now the flowers are x-1 in number. Okay, they can choose either of the lane and pick the flower from that side. At the end of the turn, if there are no flowers left at all, the current player captures their opponent and win the game. This is the winning instruction. That let's say firstly Bob started the game, he picked the flower, and then Alice picked the flower, and then another one picked the flower. But if we also consider the first instruction in the picture, let's say Alice and Bob are here. There are two flowers in the first lane and one flower in the second lane. Alice is always going to start the game. Alice picked this flower, and then Bob's turn. Bob picked this flower, and then now it is Alice's turn. And Alice picked the last flower. It means Alice won the game. So whoever is going to pick the last flower, he or she will win the game. So these are the three instructions. Pretty simple game. And they are saying given two integers n and m, and the task is to compute the number of possible pairs x, y that satisfy the condition. So this is something what we have to return. So now it is clear that what is given to us, we are given two numbers. Not two numbers, we are given nothing so far. They are saying it was just a story, that what we have to do is we are going to play some kind of game. Alice and Bob are two characters in this game, and they are going to play a game where they will be picking flowers from these two rows, and Alice is always going to start the game. Now given two numbers n and m, so n is given to me, m is given to me, and our task is to compute all the possible pairs, x, y pairs. And what is x, y? X they have already told us. X is the number of flowers in first row, and y is the number of flowers in the second row. First, second, or vice versa. Okay, now we have to return the number of possible pairs which are satisfying the following condition. Alice must win the game according to the described rules. Okay, Alice should win the game. Alice should win the game. And they are also saying that Alice is going to start the game. And what is the game? Picking items one by one. And the number of flowers x in the first lane will be in the range 1 to n. Okay, so whatever is the number of flowers that you are going to pick in the first lane should be from this range. And the number of flowers y in the second lane must be in the range 1 to m. So these are n and m given to us. return the number of possible pairs x and y according to these conditions. So this is the whole problem statement, and let me give you a brief that what will be given to us. We will be given n and m, and there are two characters. The first one is Alice and second one is Bob, and they have two rows, and in these rows there are some number of flowers. First row is going to have x number of flowers, second row is going to have y number of flowers, and x will belong to this range 1 to m, 1 to n, 1 to n, and y will belong to the range 1 to m. It means x can even have one number of flower. X can also have 2 flowers. X can also have 3 flowers. X can also have n number of flowers, but not beyond this range. X cannot have 0 flowers in the row. So similar to y, y can have 0 is not allowed. Y can have one number of flower, 2 flowers, 3 flowers, 4 flowers, till m flowers. So possible value of x, possible value of y, we have to decide these pairs x and y, satisfying the condition. What is the condition? That Alice should win the game. Alice should win the game. How is this possible that Alice is always going to win the game? How do we take care of that? See, game should be started by Alice. If Alice is starting a game, then it is something like this. Let's say I'm not marking these flowers. Alice and Bob. First turn, Alice. Alice has picked a flower from this game. Then Bob. Bob is picking a flower. Alice is picking a flower. Bob is picking a flower. Alice is picking a flower. Bob is picking a flower. Alice is picking a flower. It means that every time when Alice is picking a flower, there should be even number of possibilities left. Correct? Or in other terms, let's say Alice has picked this flower. So Bob is picking flowers from these possibilities. It means there should also be one item at this row. Correct? So if Alice has picked the flower, so that Alice is going to win the game, there should be one flower left at the end. So if it is something like 2 flowers in the first row, and 1 flower in the second row, Alice is starting the game. Alice is going to pick 1 flower, and the Bob is picking the second flower. There will always be 1 flower left. Or you can also assume that Alice picking, Bob picking, Alice picking, Bob picking, Alice picking, Bob picking. All the factors of 2 we discarded. At the end, there should be 1 left for Alice. It means 2n plus 1, or in other terms, odd number of flowers we should have. And it does not matter that which row they are picking. If Alice is there, Bob is there, and in the first row we are having 4 items, second row we are having 1 item. Alice, 4 plus 1 is 5. 4 plus 1 is 5. If Alice picking, Bob picking, Alice picking, Bob picking, then now Alice won the game. If it was something like 6 number of flowers, Alice might not win the game. So for Alice to win the game, the first condition is that x plus y should be even. Or if in other terms, x plus y modulus 2 should be 1. So this is going to be my first criteria, that x plus y should be even. Sorry, odd. Odd. Because 2n item we discarded, and at the end we left 1 item for Alice. So x is the number of flowers we put in the first row, number of flowers we put in the second row. If those are odd, we got the answer. Now we'll have a recap of the problem statement again. We are having Alice and we are having Bob. We have 2 rows for flowers. First row will have x number of flowers, and that will belong to 1 to n. Now n is given to us already. And y number of flowers in the second row, that will belong to 1 to m. M is given. So we can choose x and y from this range. That is fine. But I want all the valid pairs. Valid xy pairs. And how the pair is valid? Pair will only be valid if x plus y modulus 2 is equal to 1. So what does it mean? It means sum of flowers is odd number of flowers we should have. This is the only thing. Alice must win the game, and number of flowers is x. X is in this range, y is in this range. So these are the three conditions. If x is this range, y is in this range, why not we just check out all the possibilities of x and y? If we check out all the possibilities of x and y, what does it mean? It means writing a for loop. X is starting with 1, x is less than equal to n, x plus plus. For y is also starting with 1, and y is less than equal to n, y plus plus. Now we have one possible value of x and y. If this is the time to check whether this pair is valid or not. If this pair is valid, it will satisfy this condition that x plus y is odd. It means if I take modulus with 2, the remainder should be 1. If this is the case, then answer plus plus. This xy pair is a valid pair, and answer is 0 in the starting. Now my code is done. Return answer. So what we did is, we checked out all the possibilities of x and y. I started with all the possible values of x, and then all the possible values of y. See, at this moment we have a pair. We have a pair, and check whether this pair is valid or not. To check the validity, I just applied modulus with 2. I just checked whether it is odd or even. If it is odd, then we have found one valid pair. If it is even, nothing to do, just discard this one. At the end, return it. So this is my brute force. You can say brute force. My brute force is done, and in this brute force, what is the time and space complexity? Time complexity is checking all the possible values of x, that is n in number. Taking all the possibilities value of y, that is m in number. Time complexity is order of m into n, and no space complexity is involved. So it's a quadratic form. Because this condition is the most important, that only odd number of flowers if we have, then Alice will win the game. So this is my brute force, and we are now going to optimize this time, order of n into m. See, n square is definitely not going to work. Why? Because the constraints are so high. 10 power 5 into 10 power 5, 10 power 10 number of instructions. So that is beyond our limit for these test cases. So run this brute force. See, write this brute force and submit it, and see how many test cases are failing. Just play with it, and then later on, okay, we'll try to optimize it. How we can optimize it? Because they are not asking us to generate all the pairs. They are asking us, just let them know ki how many pairs do we actually have. They are only concerned about number of pairs. They are not concerned about how many pairs, what are the exact pairs in the picture. Okay, so the problem statement is Alice is there, Bob is there, so they have 2 number of rows, and x is going to be the number of flowers in the first row, y is going to be the number of flowers in the second row, and for that to be a valid pair, x plus y should be odd. X plus y should be odd. For that to be a valid pair, x plus y should be odd. If somehow I will be able to know what are the different possibilities of x and what are the different possibilities of y with both the nature. See, what I'm saying is x plus y is odd. It means if x is odd, y is even. If x is even, y is odd. There can only be 2 possibilities, correct? To be a valid pair, x plus y should be odd. It means that one portion is even, one other portion is odd. One portion is even or odd or even, like this. So what is this x and y? X is number of flowers in first row. If the number of flowers in first row is odd, number of flowers in second row should be even. What are the different possibilities? Just plus this case. And if let's say like odd number of possible flowers in X row into even number of flowers in Y row, even number of flowers in X row in first row, odd number of flowers in second row. So this is something I'm getting in my mind, but it might be confusing for you all. So the main idea is that the sum should be odd. If the sum should be odd, we need to check how it can be odd. So let's say currently I am having X number of item in first row, Y number of item in second row, and I need to validate that X plus Y should be odd. If X plus Y is odd, these number of pairs are beneficial for me, and I will contribute. These are going to contribute to my answer. The possibility is X can be, if the sum is odd, it means X is even or Y is odd. X is odd or Y is even. So first of all, let's see how many odd number or even number of items can be if the X number of items we are having. Let's say value of X is 5. So how many even items are there? Even items are 5 divided by 2. What is 5 divided by 2? This is 2.5. So if I add 1 into it, 1 plus 5 divided by 2, that is 3. 1 plus 1, 2, 1, 3, 5. 3 number of items are there. 3 number of odd items are there. So odd items are 3. And what are the even items? Even items are X divided by 2, that is 5 divided by 2, 2.5, that is 2 in the integer form. So that is 2 and 4. If this is looking confusing, then try to check with the even number. If let's say X value is 6, then in this 6, why I'm considering this? See, first row is going to have item which is in the range 1 to n. First row is going to have X items which are belonging to 1 to n, and second row is going to have item Y which is belonging to 1, m. And if I just directly check how many odd items are there, how many even items are there, I can calculate my answer. If I directly know how many odd possibilities are there, how many even possibilities are there, then I can directly check odd possibilities in n, odd possibilities in even possibility is in n, odd possibilities in m, even possibility is in m. My answer can be directly these number of items, odd number of possibilities in the first row multiplied with even number of possibilities. In the second row, that is EM, right? Because if we are deciding odd plus even, that is even plus odd is even or is odd. So ON into EM plus even number of possibilities in the first row, that is EN, and odd number of possibilities in the second row, that is OM. So this is how we can derive or check for the possibilities. So for now we have n and m. If n is even, then how many even and odd numbers are there? If n is odd, how many odd and even number are there? So let's pick this n. I have picked this n. In this n, this can even be odd and this can even be also be even. If n is odd, let's say that is 5, or it is even, that is 6. So if it is odd, how many even number of items are there? Because range is 1 to n. If n is odd, how many even number of items are there from 1 to n? Even number of items we already know, that is n by 2, and odd number of items n plus 1 by 2. If you don't know how this formula has come, just try out on a couple of examples. If n is equal to 1, it is odd number. How many even numbers are there? 1 divided by 2, that is 0. How many odd number are there? 1 plus 1 divided by 2, that is 1. See, it's common sense. Because 1 is odd, 2 is even. 3 is odd, 4 is even. So if we are ending at even, we have same number of items. If we are ending at 5, we have one extra odd. So this is the formula. If it is even we already know that n by 2 odd number, n by 2 even number. Even number is n by 2 or odd number is n by 2. Okay, so this is my formula, that if any item, any value is odd or even, we can use these formulas. So here I can analyze one equation, that if it is even number, if we have to find out the even number, see, whatever is the value of n and m, if we have to find out the even number, that will always be n by 2. So even number in any number is always n by 2. What about the odd number? This odd number in any number is dependent on the nature of the number. If the nature of the number is odd, it is something like n by plus 1 by 2. If it is even, it is something like n plus 1 by 2. But we are going to write code. See, 4 by 2 is 2 and 5 by 2 is also 2, because 2.5 decimal portion will be discarded if we are thinking in terms of integers. So I can also write this n by 2 as n plus 1 by 2 if n is even. If n is even, n by 2 and n plus 1 by 2 are same because of integer arithmetics. We can write that to find out the odd number of items, we can say n plus 1 by 2. To find out even number in any integer, that is n by 2, odd number in an integer. Again, we are coming back to the problem statement. We have Alice, we have Bob, we have 2 rows where we are going to put some flowers, and we want to know the number of valid pairs of x and y, where x belong to 1 to n and y belong to 1 comma n. So to make x plus y a valid pair, x plus y should be odd. To make x and y an even pair, x plus y should be odd. So for that, we can check out even number of possibilities for x, odd number of possibilities for y, or you can say till this n. Let's check for x. Odd number of items till n. What is that number? How many odd number of items till then? Just apply the formula. Whatever is the nature of n can be even, n can be odd, but our formula is same. We have generalized the formula. So to find out the odd number of items in n till n, that is n plus 1 divided by 2. And to find out the even number of items till this n, from 1 to n, so that is just n by 2. So these are the odd and even possibilities of x. Now even number of items till m is same, m plus 1 by 2. Now odd number of, I think I did some mistake. Odd number of items. We are coming to 1 to m for y. M is the range. What are the odd number of items till m? What are the odd number of items till m? That is m plus 1 by 2. And what is the even number of items till m? Even number of items till m is m by 2. And to get how many total number of valid pairs we can form, we have to do x plus y as odd. And there are two possibilities. If x are coming from this and y is coming from this, And the second possibility is x is coming from this and y is coming from this. If x is coming from this, it is order of odd number of items till n multiply with even number of items till m. Plus, second case is even number of items till n and odd number of items till m. If I return this equation, this is going to be my answer. This can be my answer. This is something you have to understand. And this operation is order of one-time operation. So time complexity of this problem, I can reduce it to order of one time using mathematics, right? And what is this approach? Approach is nothing like they are concerned about the number of pairs, and number of pairs are valid only if they are odd. If they are odd, then it can be the possibility that first row is having even, this row is having odd, or first row is having odd, this row is having even. Okay, this is something you have to keep it in mind. Odd even wala funda. Now let's have a look on the code. Let's write the code. You will understand when I will be writing the code. First of all, you directly have a look on this brute force. See, x value can go from 1 to n and y value can go from 1 to m. And these are all the possibilities for x and y. And if the pair is valid when the sum is divisible by, not divisible by 2. When I divide it by 2, it is giving me odd number. So then odd number, I can take it to my answer. So this is the brute force that I just wrote. It is order of n square time, and n square time is not going to pass this these constraints. Should definitely give us TLE, time limit exceeded on some cases. On around 10-15 cases we got TLE. So here what we have to do is let me just clear it out. Okay, I decided on the approach that, let's say we have two rows, like one row is having item till n, second row is having item till m. So total number of odd items till n multiply with total number of even items till m plus total number of even items till n multiply with total number of odd items till m. So this is our answer actually. And how do we get to know? See, if I give you a number, let's say n is equal to 10, you can directly tell me how many odd numbers are there, how many even numbers are there. There's a simple formula. And for that we just derived all the formulas. What is on and en and om and even number in m. This question is like a tongue twister. On, what is odd number of items till n? Odd number of items. How many odd number of items do we have? Odd number of item till 10, we have 10 by 2 items. And odd numbers of item till 11, we have 11 plus 1 by 2. And in 10, if we try to apply the formula, same formula, 10 plus 1 by 2, it is going to work. That is n plus 1 by 2. So odd number will definitely be m plus 1 by 2. It is also taking into the picture the nature about the values. So it is comma and semicolon. So what is even number? Even numbers are always n by 2. Half are even and half are odd if the number is odd. Even. Oh, it's a bit confusing. So if n is even, n is odd. If n is even, it is n by 2. Half even and half odd. If it is odd, half even and half odd. Okay. So even numbers in m is also going to be n by 2. This is the only tricky part for this problem, and this is also not so difficult to understand, but for the beginners it might seem challenging. For that, my advice is that do check this out on a couple of smaller examples of n and m. Now let's see if it is working fine or not. It is working on sample test cases, and what I did is I didn't do anything. I just apply this formula. But we got wrong answer. Why we got wrong answer? N is n plus 1 by 2, m plus 1 by 2, and this is n by 2, and em is m by 2. I can also see one problem, that why they are returning long, because if we are multiplying two integers, they might lead to a longer value. So just take long here and submit again. I'm directly submitting it. This time it got submitted successfully and we got a very faster solution. I hope you understood it. In case you have any doubt, do comment down below, and thanks for watching guys. Bye bye.